Hello, everybody. We are back. TBR Solutions, as always. TBR stands for the big R. The big R is nothing else but all those English words that start with the letter R. But they should be English words that are very, very positive and beautiful, like relationship, research, reading, review, reflect, resistant, not resistance as such, resilience, results, you name them, those kind of words. And then I'm saying if people apply those principles, they'll resolve their problem. If you want to understand how money works, do a lot of research, do a lot of reading, and then reposition yourself. That's very, very important. And remember, we as TBR, we are a financial company, but our strong point is to educate. That's our mission. We want to educate. So let me remind you again that my name is the Saubrey Boyz Walefatshe from TBR Solutions. As I promised at some point in the previous videos, that we'll be talking about two-pot system, and I'll invite an expert in terms of taxation because this is very, very important aspect of the whole thing. I can see people are excited, they want to go and get the money and all that, but they don't look at the impact, okay? Now, remember, our job is to educate. We are not judging. We give facts and say, here are the facts. Remember last time I was interviewing Satu, they gave their perspective. There's another interview lineup with Pop Crew, the General Secretary of Pop Crew at national level. So it will be done very soon. We are also talking to Nehau because we want to hear their perspective. That will help you to understand. Okay, before you can rush, and I know people are pressed, they want to get the money, they have this and that and that. But I always say before you do anything, educate yourself first. Have an understand because you'll do something, then you'll regret why did you do that. And there is no excuse to say, I didn't know, especially when you're educated, listen to how people, the courts view education. As long as you pass standard 10, they say, no, you know what, you're capable. You can do anything. So it's not about you need to be an expert like Mr. Negota, who's an accountant. No. As long as you've passed standard 10, they presume that you are capable. You can do anything. So take care of that. You need to be very careful. Now, let me welcome Mr. Negota from Gorosi Consulting. But before I welcome him, this is the gentleman who's doing my books. Okay, when I say my books, my financial books. Mr. Negota is handling, I think, about 4 companies that I have. Is LTSSC or the Big R Solution, which is consulting that deals with debt counseling, that deals with consulting, that deals with education, and so on. And then there's another company called the Big R Financial Services that deals with financial products, which is an authorized financial service provider. Then there's another one called Vula Zong Investment 59. That one is a consultancy which is going to focus on property and other activities, logistic, you name them. And then there's also a foundation. We have a foundation. Those who know me from Tembisa, they'll know very well that, I've been a person who always want to give back. And then if you can go to history, you'll see what I've done in Tembisa in terms of schools, in terms of, because I love that. The reason is I was very poor when I grew up. And sometimes you ask yourself, if I was not poor, how far could I have gone? Because I remember I wanted to leave school having completed my PhD. But you know what? Immediately after junior degree and my education diploma, there was no choice. I had to just to jump and go and work and come back. And now you study while you're working, which is a bit difficult. So we don't want the up and coming kids to face those difficulties. That is why we started this foundation. Mr. Negota, welcome to the show. Thank you very much. You've done a great job for us. You find the books in a mess, and then you sort them out, and then we are getting there. Everything it's up to scratch. Now, Mr. Negota, please just introduce yourself in terms of qualification and so on. How far are you thus far? Who are you working with? Your microphone is mute. Unmute the microphone. Ah, there you are.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and there you are. Now, welcome, Ms. Negota. Just tell them who you are, your qualification, and so on, because I don't want people tomorrow to say, hey, Nadula did the fly by night. So, yeah, just tell them, as I can see at the background, said accounting, tax, payroll, is it independency?
Independent reviews?
Independent reviews and advisor, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and that's it, guys. I've seen their work. They're doing a good job. And I'm quite excited. He's an accountant by profession. Guess what? Even the wife is a specialist, an accountant by profession. And they're working together. Ms. Negota, greet the viewers. Tell them a little
Thank
bit
you.
who you are.
Thank you very much, Ndati Chabalala. I think before I get started, I wanted to relate to some of the story you said, and specifically when it comes to growing up in poverty. I'm very much passionate to a point that some people will then talk about poverty and think that poverty is when you don't have money for fuel, and I'm like, you don't have money for bus or whatever. I'm like, that is not poverty. Poverty is when you don't know when your next meal is going to come from. And that is poverty. And I say that because I come from there, I mean, can you believe that I used to sleep in a mkuku on the floor, on the concrete floor, with one blanket in winter? Imagine in Mkuku how cold that can be. So coming from that, you then know that the importance of education. I used to cut people's hair on the streets of Randfontein, cutting people's hair. But in front of me there was a library there. So when it is not busy, especially Wednesday and Thursday, people are not coming to cut hair. Then I would rush to the library. Today, as we speak, I have got a master's degree in business leadership. I've got an honors degree in accounting and a junior degree in accounting. And I'm also a member of the South African Institute of Professional Accountants. CIPA. I've had more than 26 years in the financial services industry, and I've held several positions in terms from just being a normal clerk to being a CEO of a company and also an executive in company. Currently, as we speak, I'm an MD of one of the other financial companies, as well as a CEO of Gorosi Consulting.
You can mention it if you don't mind. There's no problem.
Yeah.
I'm not restrictive.
Because
when you mention it, at least people can locate which company so they can link. Yeah.
Yes. No. So it's one of them. It's B3. I'm one of the executives there.
The big funeral
parlor, yes,
which was started by black people. B3.
Yes.
What a brilliant idea. Okay. Yeah.
So I've been in the financial services industry for a long time, and coincidentally, as you're talking about the two-pot system, I spent about almost 80% of my career in the retirement fund space. Where I worked. I mean, one of my responsibilities was to distribute one of the biggest surplus distribution in the country. I headed that department, which was at the metal industries then. So I understand, the retirement fund industry, very well, unless maybe there's been changes now, but, so that is my background.
No, it's a very worthy background. And it's nice for people to understand this, so that they do understand that, no, we are not just talking to people. Now, I've got friends all over the show, who are very, very, very colorful in their resume. And then it's always nice because, look, I'm one person who's learning every day. So when I interact with you, I know I'm gonna learn. I'm a baby. I always, Steve Jobs would say, those who would succeed are those who are prepared to learn every day. He said, I'm hungry for knowledge. And then there was this poem. There was this poem when I was doing, I think, matric. It's called Ulysses. I don't know whether you know it. Ulysses. Ulysses would say in that poem, I would love to follow knowledge like a sinking star. Have you ever seen a star moving from this side to that side? You don't know where it ends. So Ulysses was saying, this was a warrior during those medieval era. And then he was navigating, going to go and check what's happening in the other parts of the world, understanding the world. So he then motivated his soldiers to say, I would follow knowledge like a sinking star. And you don't know where it ends. So in other words, he was going to learn continuously. So it's all about that. We are learning. And we are very grateful that you came in here with your knowledge to share with us. Yes.
Yeah, just to add as well, I'm actually busy with my proposal for a PhD.
For a PhD, yes.
That's how much I value education for me.
Yeah. Now, Mr. Negota, what can you say to people now? They are talking, we want two-pot system. And then I've been saying to them, be careful. Two-pot system, you'll get the money. But the taxman taxes you when you withdraw. All right? So you need to be very careful. Now, I did up to the tax table. Let me check. You'll understand it better as an accountant. Let's see what's happening with this one. Okay, let me share this tax table. Okay. All right. Let's see. I want to share this so that. Okay, let me do this. No, man. Okay, let me stop sharing a little bit because
you were sure it was up, no?
No, yeah, but I wanted it alone. I don't want it with other things.
Oh.
Yeah, so I see it was with other things. Let me see when I say share. Yeah, okay. All right, but let's talk. While I'm still looking at
while you're looking for it.
Yeah.
So I think now I did accounting from standard 6. I think some people would call it grade 8, I think it's grade 8 these days.
Yeah, they're a bit complicated
I've been
for our understanding sometimes.
I've been in the accounting field for a long time. I've always been passionate about accounting. And one of the things that I picked up, which propelled me to opening Gorosi Consulting was, when you see Gorosi, Gorosi is a seed. It's a seed.
Okay, yeah, just explain it.
And we're saying that when we plant the seeds, we plant the seeds that will grow, and we are saying these seeds we are planting to our clients, to our employees as well, and also the community out there, and we are saying with that, as Gorosi Consulting, we want to make an impact in the community by providing this accounting, tax, payroll, and independent reviews, as well as advisory. We've been involved with lots of small businesses. Some we take them from a very negative,
environment,
bank balances, and also turnovers to a positive one, through our advisory. And also, like Ndaduleni was saying, we get sometimes that the books are in a mess, then we clean them up. But over and above that, what we do is that we have realized that when people, and I want to add this point because it's very important, that when I was looking for a job first time, they say you need to have experience. And I say, but where do I get experience if I've never worked?
Yeah.
And you're caught in between to say, you don't have experience, but you need to work to get experience, So those things. So I realized that one of the things that we are going to do as Gorosi Consulting is to take some of the young people that have just come, and work with these sitters to actually employ some of these learners so that we give them practical experience, because we want to add. Sometimes you find that the person is a graduate, they've got so much qualification, but practically when you talk about the things like your normal accounting equations, they've got no idea. When it comes to tax issues, people have got no idea, but then they've qualified. And I just wanted to add to this issue of education, to say our education system gives you some knowledge, but you need to apply the knowledge for you to acquire what we call skills and therefore become competent.
Yeah.
In fact, and therefore that's what we are doing at Gorosi Consulting, to say we've employed a lot of young people as well who are coming in. We've got senior people who actually monitor these learners and make sure that when they leave, they've got 18 years and 24 months of experience and they can easily be employed. We've had so many people who have left through our hands who are very successful as well. And therefore we are saying, from a community perspective, we are aiding in the sense that people will earn the relevant skills. People are now working in good companies who have come through our hands. But we've got companies that are doing well as well because we've prepared them, we've looked at their finances, we provide guidance, something like tax planning as a director. What sort of things do you need to look at as a director as you're running a business, such that SARS does not come after you? We've got so many reports that directors are now being put in jail. And sometimes when you talk to these people, are things that they didn't know. People think that as a director of a company, I can just take the card and go to Ackerman, swipe. You understand? And that's where we come in and help you to say, you need to practice what we call, there is something called tax avoidance and tax evasion. What will put you in jail is tax evasion. But we can talk about these things at some time. But I'm just saying that there's tax evasion, there is tax avoidance. Tax avoidance is the right one that is allowed in terms of the tax administration. To say, yes, you can find a way of avoiding tax, which is legal. But if you do tax evasion, we do not participate. Lastly, I must add that there are some people who come and say, hey, we want you to save us money, we want you to save us money. Make us. I say, no, we will do things right. And when we do things right, we will save you, but also we not only save you money from your cash, but we are also making sure that you do not end up in jail. And that's why when it comes to tax services, we don't charge a percentage of what you will save and whatever. Because with that mindset, I'm driven to find savings even where there are no savings. You get what I'm saying? And therefore, as an accountant, as a professional, I charge a fee. Whether you get a refund, you don't get a refund from SARS, I've done my work and you pay me. Sometimes people will get thousands, maybe some 20, some 100,000, but I've only charged my fee, sometimes it's 3,000. Now imagine you get 100,000, I charge 3,000. But there are times that, exactly, there are times where you actually have to pay SARS, even when you are paying me. But in both cases, we are saying whether you pay in or you are receiving money from SARS, that is yours, but your books and your records are clean. That's what we're looking for.
Are in order.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tax avoidance, you are allowed to avoid by using the tax law. The tax law
Yes.
gives you the opportunity to use the incentives that are there, but in a legal way. So that's very important.
Exactly.
People run away from taxmen, people run away from accountant, whereas they don't. They are not aware that they are running away from their murder. I mean, their savior, and they are rushing to be murdered in terms of jail.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now let's talk about this. How important it is for a small business or an individual to have an advice from a qualified accountant. How important is it? I know we've already spoken about saving in terms of, because, I normally tell people, I said, the biggest expense in the world, anywhere in the world, is tax. They tax you when you are dead. They tax you even unemployed, they are taxed. So now it's very important that you save, because people understand saving from one perspective, putting the money in the bank. And I always say, if you put money in the bank, that's a slow way of making money, because there you'll get so much. You may get 2 or 3% per annum, and then in business they call it, if you want to make money, you must do what you call the velocity of money. The money must move, then you'll make money. Mr. Negota, when are people taxed? If you can answer that question, because I want that question to lead to what we are going to talk about as far as two-pot system, looking at the tax table.
Yes. So the tax is a person is taxed. The tax is very broad, but let me put it, simplify it.
Yeah.
So firstly, you are taxed on the income that you've earned, right? But then you earn income differently. One, as a salary. 2, as dividends. 3, as provident funds, retirement funds, from a retirement fund or retirement annuity. That you generate, you will get income from all those things, including maybe the buying and the selling of property. From then, you are then taxed. But there are entry levels to say, from this amount to this amount, there is no tax. And that is both on business, on personal, and on your retirement fund. And we need to make those 3 distinct to say, from an individual, there's an income which when you earn, you don't pay tax. From business, there's income that you earn that you don't pay tax. And also from a retirement fund, there's also income that when you get that portion of the income is not taxed. So that is, in a nutshell, how you get taxed, when you generate income. That's the basis of taxes. Now, what they normally call gross income.
Let's go here, because today I just want to, because I hear you've got a lot of knowledge that we need to educate about them. We'll make a plan, break all these jargons so that we simplify. I'm one person who believes in simple things. Like Steve Jobs is my hero, says, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. You need to be as simple as possible. When I talk, Mr. Gorosi, I'm talking to all radio stations, to be honest. What was surprising, I was even invited by the radio station in Harare, Zimbabwe. And then on 2 occasions, apparently they've been following me on Facebook. That was brilliant. So I see that our time is running out. So let's explain now this tax table, because I was saying to people, okay, you'll go and withdraw, it's 30,000 limit, but be careful. When you withdraw 30,000 every year for the next 10 years, is 300,000. just give them a brief in terms of this text table, especially this diagram, this one.
Yeah, can you make it a little bit bigger?
Yeah, let's see. Let's try to. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Especially this one, so, because can you see here it says 18%? Here it says,
yes. So, and this talks to what I was explaining earlier. To say, from 0 or from 1 to as long as you earn income, there is tax that will be paid. Now, you will see that in here in the tax table, what they didn't show us is that at what amount, which amount will not be taxable, but we can touch that later. So from 0 to 237,100, that you get taxed at 18%. Now, any amount above that, it now attracts 26%. So you've already now added 8% more, by just moving from 237 to 237,200, if we put it that way. You now pay 26% more. So when you look at it, it says from 237,101, you then start paying tax at 26%. When you go to 370,500, that is the cap. So in other words, if you look at the third row there, you'll see that it starts at 77,362. That is the tax that you will pay on the income of 370,500. You will pay a tax of 77,362. So if you just look at the figures at the end there, where you've got 370,500, 500,000, 512,000, 512,800, and then 673,000. 857,900, 1,817,000. If you look at those, and then you look at the figures there, you would note that the 442,000 relates to the last figure. 77,000 relates to the last figure. 121,000 relates to 673. That's how you would see, okay, so if I'm at the cap there, what then happens if I get an additional income? So that is very important. Now, when you then now come and talk about two-pot system, you will then be looking, let's say, for instance, you are sitting at 370,500. By you just getting 1,000 only, you skip to now starting to pay a 31% tax from 26%. So it pushes you. By the way, don't think that you're only going to pay that on the money that you took from the two-pot system. It adds to this, and therefore now your total income will now be taxed at 31% for the rest of the year.
Okay.
Can you see how dangerous that becomes? Because you were sitting at 370,500, being taxed at 26%. You go to SARS, you ask for 10,000. And I'm just using that. You go to SARS and ask for 10,000. SARS gives you the 10,000. So, to your provident fund, ask for 10,000 under the two-pot system. You're then now going to add it here. When you add it here, it says 380,000. It no longer falls here.
Here.
No, on the block number 3.
Or block number 3. So if
you add 10,000 there, yeah. Actually, on the top one, you've got 370,000 there. So can you see on the top one there? Yes. Now, add 10,000 to that. It brings it down to the bottom one now.
Yeah, the one of 121,475.
No. So
here. No,
can I share? Let me. Oh, we don't have time. I wanted to share so that I can quickly explain.
Let me do this. I'll want you to share. I'll prepare something quickly. Let's take a break a little bit. And then so that we share and clarify, because that's one part that I really want them to understand, because it's very, very crucial. Okay. So let's stop it here for now, and then I'll come back to you. Thank you so much.
So
take a break. I'll take a break this side, and then we'll come back and then prepare something. I'll do multiple share so that you also be able to.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Perfect.
Yeah, as we said, we're taking a bit of a break so that we can sort few things up, and we still have Mr. Negota to help you. I'm sure you have heard how Mr. Negota put his facts. He said he's a developmental person. He loves development. And it's understandable, because if you talk about his background, from a poverty-stricken background, now he wants to fix things up. I think that should be the attitude of all of us. As much as we are running business, but how can we develop? How can we sort things up in this country? So that will definitely make things happen for our country to be the best in the whole world. Now, before I can bring Mr. Negota, let me just share, normally I tell you about the books that we sell on our platform. Remember, we are more of education people. So there's this one, the book by Dr. Ndaduleni Small. Dr. Ndaduleni Small is an economist who worked for the Reserve Bank for 33 years as an advisor to governors of the Reserve Bank. She wrote this book. She's in retirement now as we speak. It's called How to Win the Wealth Game. All right, the art of money, because it's all about the art, okay? And it's all about listening to people who are more advanced than you, people like Mr. Negota, and then that way you'll be able to navigate. So you can grab this book. It's there from us, directly from us. The other one is this one. This one was written by a lady called Nomsa Masbugo. She hails in Emalahleni Wheatbank, to be precise. Nomsa Masbugo is an entrepreneur. She runs guest houses. She's got about 7 guest houses, which are classified as 3-star. But I can tell you, I've slept there many times. They are not 3-star, they are 5-star. She has about more than 100 rooms, because in the hospitality industry, we don't talk about the number of institutions, 7 guest houses. We are talking about the rooms. She's got more than 100 rooms under her spell. She runs other businesses. Nomsa listened to me on SAFM, I think it was 2012, when I was talking about the book that I'm going to show you. And then she bought that book. She bought all my book. Then she became a friend. Then she got inspired, and then she wrote this book, Entrepreneur Awakening. And what we share in common with Nomsa, she was a teacher just like me. And then she listened to me when I was speaking about this book, how I turned 500 Rand into a $1 million business. You can do the same. Maybe you can even do more. And then this book, you can find it directly from us. It's also available on Amazon as an ebook. All right. So those are the books that you can get from us. Mr. Negota, let me welcome you again. I see your mic is mute, and then we're still explaining the text table. Can you share the text table so that we explain? Maybe it's better when you share from your side so that you can have the flexibility of showing us there and then we'll take it from there.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ndaduleni Chabalala. So, so you see here, I've put this text table on the spreadsheet. So the break actually helped me to put the text table on the spreadsheet. Now, as I was explaining earlier, to say you get text from 1 Rand that you earn, ideally according to this table. So from 1 Rand to 237,100 rands, you are taxed at 18%. That means if you look at that 18 there, and you look at this column here, you'll see that there is 42,678 rents. That means that the tax on the 237,100 is 42,000. Now, if you go and look at 370,500, that amount is now taxed at 26%. So any amount from there to there, which this will be the maximum, the tax is 26%. Effectively, what it means is that if your income is 370,500, your tax is effectively 77,362. Now, anything above that, which is 370,501, you start getting taxed at 31%. And it goes on and on and on and on. Now, let us suppose that you go and say, and by the way, how we arrived at 237, you'll find that it is 237,000, 237,100. It is then divided by 12. So that gives you your income, and you can multiply that to say what then would be my tax per month. You know, that roughly would give you the tax, which would be around 3,000 something. Now, I want to show you something that if you now, so because this is the tax on the maximum amount, right? Per year, on a yearly basis, we are saying your total tax is, let me not copy that one, to say it's roughly around that multiplied by 18%. Now, I will explain. So, it doesn't want to calculate. Let's just make it better. So, you see, it's 42,678 is the tax I will pay on a monthly basis. On a yearly basis, this is monthly, this is yearly. So, yes, this is yearly. And then now that becomes monthly. Monthly. So on a monthly basis, then it says, this is how much the tax will go. Now, watch this. You go to the taxman and say, I want 20,000, right? Let's say now you don't owe SARS anything else whatsoever, right? They are then going to say, this amount plus 20,000 rands. Where does it drop us now? This now says this plus that. It gives us 257,000. Now, where is 257,000 on the tax table? Where do you find it? It is between 237 and 370 here. Can you see? It's here.
Yes.
Now, at what tax is it now taxed? At 18%. Now, it then at 26%. At 26%. Any income above that will then be taxed at 18%, at 26%. Yeah. So effectively, it raises up your income because your income has moved from that to that. You now get taxed at 26%. You see? So now which becomes to say, any income above that, it needs to be taxed at 26%, not at 18%. So you are now going to then pay 20%, 20,000 multiplied by 26%. So we must say equals to. So that you see that multiplied by 26%. That's 5,200 that you're going to pay. You are not going to pay, because people think that, no, I'm going to pay that amount multiplied by 18% because my tax is at 18%. No, that is not the case. By just putting that, it moves your tax bracket to a certain level. But
okay.
then now,
hold it there. Just hold it there.
Yes.
Because I see something that you are explaining, which is very crucial. If it's
Yes.
20,000, you times by 18%, it gives you 3,000 something. Am I correct?
Yes.
But because of the
Yes.
tax table, remember,
Yes.
you've already gone to what you call the level that is higher than 18%.
Yes. Yes.
Now, it's no more 18. It becomes 20,000 times by 26. So it comes to 5,000. Because I want them to understand how it moves. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah, that clarity is important. It's the same 20,000. At 18% is 80,000. But because you have jumped the level higher, it has influenced the taxation in terms of the percentage. Now you are taxed 26%, which ordinarily, in terms of the rent value, it's 5,200.
Yes.
Which is a huge difference. Yeah.
It's a huge difference. Now, let me give one last example on this, just one last example.
No, even if it's not last, if it is not last, I'm not in a hurry.
Yes.
For me, what is important is for us to understand. You know, now, if we rush things, I'm worried about understanding. Let's say we don't finish today because I know we've got other activity. No problem.
Yes.
We can still pack it and come back, start where we ended, continue. That should be the approach. And I don't know if like you're having another appointment. So give me the minutes that you are available for so that I don't hold you for too long.
Yes. No. That's what I'm saying. Maybe I'll just give this last example, and then I'll have to shoot. So, when we are looking at this, we say, okay, so this person moves this to this level. Now, because they say the additional amount above that, above the 270, is taxed at 26%. Now, if you were sitting at let's say just at 370, 100, 370, 100. It then means you are now taxed at 26%, right? You are taxed at 26% because you are just here. You are just here.
Yeah.
You see,
but you
just below
that by 100.
So you have not crossed. You just below that. You just below that. Then you go and get your 10,000 rands from the thing. Now, what then becomes your tax table now? You now move to be taxed at what? At the full on now 31%. From 26% to 31%. Can you see that? Because now it moves you to this level. Because it says it's now 380, it is here. So it shows that 10,000 rands that you take, it moves you from one tax bracket to the next bracket, which becomes even severe for you. Now, you are now then going to say, on that money that I've gone there, that means 9,900 of that will then need to be taxed at what? At 31%.
I like that. I like to repeat that one. It's very important. So
yes, to say
10,000, but
yes,
now the entire 9,900,
yes,
except the 100, will be
yes.
taxed at that 1%.
Yeah. So
Okay.
let's just read our maths. Yeah. So it's actually we need 400 there. Let me just do this so that we don't lose people there. 500. This is equals to that minus that. There's that 400. So effectively, you are saying, yeah. So you are effectively saying, from that we must have 600 here, 600. So it's 9,600, and then 9,600 is going to be taxed at 31%, not at 26% like before. So it is very crucial. You see now the tax on that, even if let's say we were to make this and make it 19,000 as we had there, to say this is the amount that will be taxed. The 400 will be taxed at 26%, and that's why we take this amount is now taxed at 31%. So you can see the impact of that that amount there, of you taking that. If we, let's say we paid him 20,000, if you take that extra 20,000, it makes this even worse. But it says the amount that is going to be taxed at 31% is this one, which makes it even worse. Effectively, what we are saying, and to conclude, that is that this two-pot system, it is making more SARS richer than the people. Because now, if you to look at the tax table, maybe we'll cover it in the next week. The retirement tax table.
Yes.
The first 550,000 rands is tax-free. Now you are subjecting the money that is not supposed to be taxed to tax. When you are not supposed to pay tax on it, now you're paying tax on it. When you could just wait until 55, because from 55, you can take this money and not pay tax. You see, that is the difference it makes, that it is very important for people to think, to say, now I'm paying 6,000 rands. You are just giving SARS money that they never were going to get it. They were never going to get this money. Because if you look at the retirement fund table, which we will look in maybe in the future, it says the first 500,000 is tax-free. There's no tax.
Now, what is important here is is the same terminology you're talking about, tax avoidance.
Yes.
Here, you are applying the tax law to avoid to be taxed heavily. All right?
Yes.
So I wish people out there, you listen very careful. If you have questions, please, you'll see our WhatsApp number. Drop us questions if you still want us to explain further, because I don't want us to rush this tax table. This for me is very important for people to understand, because everything that we do, key to all those things is understanding. If you don't understand, then you're in trouble. So I'm not gonna rush. Feel free to ask questions, and then Ms. Negota is available. We'll share the question. On our next show, he'll then explain and answer your question. Ms. Negota, we'll start from here, and then I hope it will be understandable as they go through what you explain. It's very, very important. This for me is very important. Let me thank you so much for your time, because you are very busy, and then we appreciate the fact that you made yourself available. Those people who want the service of Mr. Negota, again, drop us a WhatsApp to say, I need an accountant. I want Mr. Negota to assist me. And that should be a simple statement. I, Lucas, need an accountant, Mr. Negota. That's it. Therefore, we'll take all those contact and pass it to Mr. Negota's office so that you get a professional advice. You don't just do things thinking that you understand. Whatever, Mr. Negota, people like to say, I work so hard. Then this guy comes and now he must share part of my money, I must pay. But there's nothing wrong in paying because you are a professional. And then you are using professional explanation. Now they expect you to explain to them for free. That is why people end up being mediocre. and people not understanding the good expense and the bad expense. An expense for an accountant is a good expense. An expense for a lawyer or legal advice is not a bad expense. So you need to understand these things because these people will save you a huge amount. You running away, you'll end up in a trap. Ms. Negota, thank you so much. We really appreciate, and then we'll continue this. This was our first hit. Then we'll continue to take it and make it more easier. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for inviting me. It was great to be here.
Thank you so much.